Did you know the Vatican has a crime rate 20 times higher than Italy? Welcome to the world's smallest country with the biggest secrets. Vatican City, a place of spiritual power and historical significance, hides a dark underbelly that's about to be exposed. From money laundering schemes to connections with organized crime, the Vatican Bank has been at the center of numerous financial scandals. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Welcome to the world of Vatican finances, where secrets are currency and transparency is a rare commodity. At the heart of this financial labyrinth lies the Institute for the Works of Religion, better known as the Vatican Bank. Founded in 1942, this institution was originally created to manage assets for religious works and charities, but its unique status soon paved the way for much more than charitable endeavors. Unlike other banks, the Vatican Bank operates under a veil of secrecy, exempt from international financial regulations. This special status allows it to conduct discreet transactions and protect assets in ways that would raise eyebrows in the secular banking world. Imagine a bank where standard rules don't apply, where money can move without the usual checks and balances. That's the reality of the Vatican Bank. This exceptional position has not gone unnoticed or unexploited. Over the years, the bank has been implicated in a series of financial scandals that would make even the most hardened Wall Street banker blush. From allegations of money laundering to connections with organized crime, the Vatican Bank's history reads like a financial thriller. One of the most shocking revelations came to light in 2010 when Italian authorities uncovered a massive money laundering operation. The scale of the illicit activities was staggering. $900 million tied to organized crime flowing through the Vatican's coffers. This wasn't just a case of a few bad apples, it suggested a systemic problem at the very heart of the Catholic Church's finances. But how did it come to this? How did an institution meant to support religious works become entangled in such murky dealings? The answers lie in a complex web of power, secrecy, and centuries-old traditions. As we dig deeper into the Vatican's financial maze, we'll uncover more shocking revelations that challenge everything you thought you knew about this ancient institution. Imagine waking up to find that $1.4 billion had vanished without a trace. Now picture that money belonging not just to any bank, but to an institution with deep ties to the Vatican. This isn't the plot of a Hollywood thriller. It's the real-life story of Banco Ambrosiano's collapse, a scandal that would expose the dark underbelly of Italy's financial system. Banco Ambrosiano was once Italy's largest private bank, a financial powerhouse with close connections to the Vatican Bank. But in 1982, this seemingly unshakable institution crumbled overnight, sending shockwaves through the Italian economy. The collapse was sudden and devastating, leaving investors reeling and financial experts scrambling for answers. At the heart of this financial disaster lay a mystery that would baffle investigators for years to come: the disappearance of over $1.4 billion in unsecured loans. How could such a massive sum simply vanish? The answer, it turns out, lay in a complex web of financial irregularities and questionable practices that stretch from the streets of Milan to the halls of the Vatican. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered troubling connections between Banco Ambrosiano and the Vatican Bank. At the center of these allegations stood Bishop Paul Marcinkus, the president of the Vatican Bank at the time. Questions swirled about his involvement in the bank's collapse and the missing billions. But the story doesn't end there. The Banco Ambrosiano scandal opened a Pandora's box of secrets, hinting at even darker connections. Whispers of organized crime involvement began to circulate, suggesting that the financial irregularities might be just the tip of a very dangerous iceberg. In the aftermath of the collapse, the Vatican found itself in an uncomfortable spotlight. Facing mounting pressure and potential legal consequences, the church made a surprising move. Without admitting any wrongdoing, the Vatican agreed to a $244 million settlement. This massive payout, while significant, left many questions unanswered and hinted at the true scale of the scandal. While financial scandals often focus on missing money and corrupt officials, the true cost is measured in human lives. In Quebec, Canada, a shocking shocking scheme would blur the lines between orphanages and psychiatric wards, leaving thousands of children to pay the price. How could such a travesty occur under the watch of both government and church? Welcome to the dark chapter of the Duplessis orphans scandal, a tragedy that unfolded in Quebec from the 1940s to the 1960s. This disturbing episode saw thousands of healthy orphaned children reclassified as mentally ill patients, a move that would alter the course of their lives forever. At the heart of this scandal was a sinister financial motive. The Quebec government, led by Premier Maurice Duplessis, and the Catholic Church found a way to turn vulnerable children into a source of profit. By reclassifying orphans as mentally ill, they could transfer them from orphanages to psychiatric institutions. This shift allowed them to access more federal funding, as the government provided higher subsidies for psychiatric patients than for orphans. The conditions these children faced in these institutions were nothing short of horrific. Many were subjected to unnecessary medical treatments, including electroshock therapy and powerful drugs. Some were used as test subjects for pharmaceutical companies or forced to perform unpaid labor. The emotional and physical toll on these young lives was immense, with many carrying the scars of their experiences well into adulthood. As the years passed, the long-term impact on the victims became painfully clear. Many struggled with mental health issues, addiction, and difficulty integrating into society. The trauma they endured as children cast a long shadow over their adult lives, affecting their relationships, careers, and overall well-being. In recent decades, efforts have been made to bring recognition and compensation to the Duplessis orphans. Survivor groups have fought tirelessly for acknowledgement of the abuse they suffered and for financial restitution. While some progress has been made, many feel that true justice remains elusive as the full extent of the scandal and its impact continues to unfold. The Duplessis orphan scandal serves as a stark reminder of the human cost when institutions prioritize financial gain over the welfare of those in their care. As we turn our attention to the Vatican's modern-day attempts at financial reform, we must keep in mind the real-world consequences of financial misconduct and the importance of transparency and accountability in all institutions, religious or otherwise. Imagine a financial system so opaque that even those tasked with reforming it struggle to pierce its veil. Welcome to the Vatican's labyrinthine finances, where recent attempts at reform have unveiled a web of corruption that would make even the most seasoned auditors head spin. But can the Church's efforts to clean house succeed where others have failed? In recent years, the Vatican has taken steps to overhaul its financial practices. The establishment of the Financial Information Authority, AIF, in 2010 marked a significant move towards combating money laundering and aligning with international financial standards. This initiative signaled the Church's recognition of the need for greater transparency and accountability. However, the path to reform has been far from smooth. Critics argue that these efforts have fallen short of ensuring true transparency. The lack of a comprehensive financial oversight framework continues to pose significant risks, leaving room for potential misuse of funds and questionable practices. External audits have been conducted to assess the Vatican's financial practices, but the results often reveal troubling gaps in compliance with international regulations. While some progress has been made, many areas still lack adequate oversight, raising questions about the effectiveness of these audits and the Vatican's commitment to genuine reform. The challenges of implementing transparency measures become evident when we look at specific cases of financial impropriety uncovered during reform attempts. In 2013, Italian authorities arrested Nunzio Scarano, a high-ranking Vatican accountant, on charges of using the Vatican Bank to smuggle millions of euros for the mafia. This case highlighted the persistent issues of corruption within the institution and the difficulties in rooting out deeply entrenched practices. As the Vatican attempts to cooperate with international financial institutions to improve its oversight, it faces internal resistance. A culture of secrecy, long embedded in the Church's financial dealings, complicates reform efforts. This resistance underscores the complex balance between maintaining the Church's traditions and adapting to modern financial standards. The current state of Vatican finances remains a topic of debate and scrutiny. While some progress has been made in implementing reforms, significant obstacles remain. The interplay between faith, power, and financial accountability continues to challenge the Church as it navigates this complex landscape. As we approach the conclusion of our journey through the Vatican's financial maze, it's clear that the story is far from over. The ongoing nature of these reform efforts raises important questions about the future of the Church's finances and its ability to balance its spiritual mission with the demands of financial integrity in the modern world.